homeowners in Florida, how connected are home upgrades like roofs, impact windows, and structural improvements to insurance costs and their insurability?
Yeah, it's a driver of price.
Okay.
It is an absolute, how your roof is construction, whether you have hurricane protection or not, is absolutely a driver of price. Okay. Because we do have a lot of older homes here in Florida. And if you look at the inspections, like, is it for the attachments? Like toenails. Toenails are worse than clips.
Right.
Clips are worse than single wraps. Single wraps are worse than what's called double wraps. And all those indicate how the roof is attached to your home, whether it's gonna lift and come off or not. Now, with an older roof, you have a chance of more lift, I think, also depending on how it's constructed. But what happens when it gets older? Right. Does it get more brittle? You know, the shingles or the tiles are 30 years old. You're right, they're gonna come flying off. Do you have what's called secondary water resistance, which is what, a layment? How do you say it? It goes underneath.
Underlayment.
Underlayment,
sorry,
thank you, sorry. No, underlayment, I had it, but I didn't have it. Underlayment under the shingles or the tiles or the metal. It's a second barrier of defense. But, you know, I think pretty much now the codes, you have to have an underlayment in Miami.
Yeah, well, I mean, so we had roofing paper before. Now we still, and we call that double 30. So up north they have what's called synthetics, but it works well up north and in other areas because they use what's called plastic tin caps or plastic caps. So if you drive by any house or drive by Roof in Progress a couple of years ago, we don't use that system anymore, but some roofing companies still do. Some roofing companies still use the old system, which is they put down 30-pound paper and then they take pretty much like a washer without a hole in it and they drive a nail with a nail gun through it. So that those are the little silver dots you see all over a roof as it's being rebuilt. So that doesn't count as a secondary water barrier. So now building code has changed where they require either double 30 or we can just roll peel and stick, which is a secondary water barrier that will cover the entire roof. It's a better roof, it's built to last. But what a lot of contractors don't talk about is ventilation. Tile roofs don't actually have any built-in ventilation. So the only option for a tile roof is to have a separate roof vent. And the same way that in order to breathe, you need to be able to pull in air from somewhere. That's why you have your soffit vents. But some people don't have soffit vents. Some people have vents on like a gable end of their house, and actually some houses don't have any intake at all. So you can put all the ventilation you want, but you're basically, it's like sucking through a straw and pinching the other end. You're not gonna be able to pull out a good amount of air. So the roof decking fails faster, and eventually that goes through into the actual roofing system where you're gonna see failures sooner. So ventilation is something in our industry that's not talked about enough. Tile roofs, like I said, don't have any natural ventilation. Shingle roofs, we have to actually install what's called a ridge vent or have other sources of ventilation. And then metal roofs, depending on the system, at least all the systems that we sell, we actually create an opening in the top, and then the cap of the metal system actually allows natural ventilation as well. So that's a pretty big thing.
Right. So that's how like roofs fail, you know, especially as they get older, and you might not have a leak now, but eventually you will. So what a lot of roofers do, you know, to help the person like get a better price or have more stability with the roof is when they replace it. And you probably know way more about it than I do. They have clips or whatever. They go ahead and put double wraps on or single wraps on them. They have more nails in it to have it adhere more, and that helps drive the price.
Drive the price down.
Down, right? Okay. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, it's interesting. So, you know, for every wall, there's a loophole. And I made a YouTube video about this, is that there's a lot for hurricane straps. So you have a homeowner that bought a house, it has toenails or it has clips, a clip system. So basically, as what you're referencing is, once again, how the roof or the roof system, your trusses, your rafters are attached to your walls. So a toenail is just, you know, pretty much a nail that's going through the bottom. It's not very reliable, not very strong. After that, you have your clip system, which is just grabbing the sides and the bottom of that piece of wood, and your roof system sits up here. And that's not a very strong system. You have your single strap that comes over and grabs, and then you have your double that goes on both sides and then goes into the tie beam either on the front face or over here. And these rafters are usually spaced out 16 to 24 rafters trusses. So the loopholes are killing people, and they're driving these costs of insurances because the loophole exists to where roofers don't have to force homeowners to address this, the hurricane straps, if the value of the structure based on the property appraiser is less than $300,000. Just not if you have $1 million house in Coral Gables, South Miami, wherever. It's not based off of the cost in Zillow. You look at the property appraiser's report and it's going to break down what your land value is and what your structure value is. And if that value is less than $300,000, you qualify for an exemption. Okay. I can do somebody's house, like a normal house. Even my house, the value of the house is probably less than $300,000. I would be exempt, or I can use that loophole to not have to do it. Another exclusion is if the cost to replace the straps is more than 25% of the value of the roof price, I also don't have to do that. So, and they can pull this number out of thin air. So, you know, like a Shady roofer. So, Mary, your roof is $20,000. If I say that your straps are more than $3,000, we have the option of excluding your house from having to need that upgrade. Now, what does that do? That puts us in a further hole with insurance companies where we are a high risk area, but the roofer's also doing a huge disservice to the homeowner because they're not given that ability to save on the future in insurance. Now, hurricane straps are typically anywhere from they typically start somewhere around $3,500 for, you know, like the whole house. And we're only doing it on the perimeter where, you know, this is your house. We're only doing it on this side and on this side. We don't have to do it on all four sides, just basically where the rafters sit on top, or the rafters or the trusses sit on blocks. And it's pretty easy because we're already tearing off the roof and we're just basically creating enough space to where we can install the straps, and then put the wood back on those trusses, and then install our roof system on top of the roof deck. But it's a giant disservice because that $3,500, you know, you can, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, but you as a homeowner can make back that $3,500 within a couple years. And then from that point forward, you can start saving. But where it also gets me is now this person has a brand new roof. We get a really bad hurricane that hits us. Hurricanes work against roofs in two ways. They're going to grab, you know, there's going to be forces that are pulling from the eaves or the overhang of the roof. But then if they don't have impact windows, when the impact window breaks, and I talk about this in a lot of videos, the window will break, the pressure on the outside wants to equalize the pressure on the inside. And now you get uplift both on the inside of the house and on the outside. And that's where you see blow-offs. And we had a roof blow-off during Hurricane Andrew. So, you know, it's a huge disservice that's not talked about enough in the industry. Additional reason and barrier, which I think they could change, it would potentially hurt us and I'll get into that in a second, but it could benefit homeowners and roofers, is that the way it is currently, in order for a roofer to handle that work where they redo straps, is they have to be a licensed general contractor. So if somebody only has a roofing license, they cannot perform that work. They can't pull that permit. So now you have a roofer that wants to sell a house, that wants to sell a job. You're a buyer that wants to get the roof done. That roofer's not even having that conversation with you about that. Like that conversation is not coming up, because if you say, if it did come up and you're like, hey, I want to do it, now that roofer has to go find a GC, or they have a friend who's a GC that'll sign. That's kind of like the workaround that some people are using. But a lot of roofers will avoid that because that'll cost them additional money. They'll have to pay $1,000, $1,500 just to get somebody to sign for it. And what ends up happening is that that's not even offered to the homeowner. So I mean, I think it's a great idea for homeowners to be educated and speak to their insurance agents and have those conversations before they replace a roof. Hey, Mary, what I'm thinking about doing my roof. What can I do to help me save money on insurance?
Right, exactly.
And I'm going to assume that conversation never happens or doesn't happen often.
Not as much as I would like it to.
Okay.
I'm not trying to sell anything, so treat me as your trusted advisor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm going to give you the skinny. If I already have your policy and you're going to have your roof done, or you're thinking about windows, you're thinking about shutters, whatever you're thinking about, call us. You're not bothering us.
Right.
You know, and we could say, I would love to save you money.
Right.
Because that money might pay for something else that you need.
Exactly.
You know, so why not?
Or better coverage.
Or better coverage, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like auto,
Right.
if I can save you some money, instead of having 10-20, maybe you have 50-100
Right.
for 100 or 200 more, you know, every 6 months. But that's just neither here nor there. But it's absolutely a driver of insurance pricing is the attachments and the hurricane protection. Those are the two biggest drivers, not only just having a new roof. And I priced some stuff that we could talk about later.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah, so if I took away like every single credit on the wind mitigation, because a lot of people ask me, you know, why do I need a wind mit? You know, I don't care what the price is, you know, but I care because it depends on what carrier I'm going to, you know, and I will tell you, like, even surplus lines, which aren't admitted to the state of Florida, they want to see inspections now because it has gotten so bad. You know, they want to make sure that this house is decent. Otherwise, go get a construction loan.
Right.
You know, start from it. But the drivers, like I did, and what's on the wind mit, it's FBC versus non-FB, which means you're under the Florida building codes of 2002 or newer, that are very strict, like you said earlier, or you're not. You know, then there's nails, which the best one to have, and maybe you could explain a little bit better, the 8/6 inch. So it's 8 weight, 8.
8D every 6 inches.
Every 6 inches, right.
Right.
And that's better than 8, what is it? No, 12/8/8 or 8/12/12. What is it? Can't see it in my head all the time.
I'm not sure, but that's so that relates to renailing the deck, which is actually a very interesting thing. So as roofers, as roofers here in South Florida, so it's very interesting. Like, you literally drive a couple hours up north, the inspection process is completely different.
Totally different.
We pull permits, we've done jobs, we do jobs, Tampa, Orlando, Lakeland, Port Charlotte, West Coast, East Coast. We've done jobs pretty much everywhere throughout Florida. We did impact windows in Gainesville, which I thought was really interesting. What the hell are we doing installing windows in Gainesville? But they got hit by a storm.
They did.
And you know what?
Tallahassee even.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, it's interesting. Impact windows, I think, are going to be installed everywhere. Like that's going to be the new standard eventually. It's going to take time, but so when impact windows first came out, they were super expensive. Now, when you look at the cost of impact windows versus new windows, the difference is really not that much. It used to be 100%. Right. And we actually sold against another company who was going to charge an additional 100% to a family in Tampa. Their project was $30,000 non-impact. They asked about impact. They said, oh, that's going to be $60,000. We came in at 28. So there's a lot of bad information in all of our industries, obviously.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is that the real number is really like 10 to 15% difference. So for the benefit of impact windows and having the security, having that extra protection, that, you know, like I love giving the example of, but during the day, I'm at work. Let's just say my wife and my dogs and my kids are at home. We wouldn't set the alarm during the day, but at least the door would be locked. If somebody tries to break in, they're gonna have a very hard time getting in through the impact glass. Or we're on vacation. You know, that's a huge deterrent for burglaries. Yeah. So I do think that impact windows will eventually take over everywhere in the country and become
good to know. That's
a
good
lot
to
more
hear.
popular.
That's one of the credits on the wind mitigation.
Okay.
And so if you have, like, you know, and then so you have non-FBC, or you can't prove it with a permit, which is so important.
Right, yeah.
And especially in Miami, that it follows the client, like that they have a copy of it. Because I don't know if you've ever tried to look up permits in Miami as a layperson, such as me. Is it Miami-Dade? Is it City of Miami? Are you Miami Lakes, Miami Gardens, Miami Vista, Homestead? And sometimes I can't find it. They said, oh yeah, we did it. We paid for it. We can't prove it. Yeah. So you end up with the non-FBC. You have the lowest nail. You have the lowest attachment, which would be toenails. And you don't have coverage. That's like over $9,000, $10,000 on the houses that I quoted coming in here.
Wow.
Now you have and I call these run-of-the-mill credits. You have a newer roof, which now gets the F credit. You have the good nails that I talked about, the 866.
Okay.
You have single straps. A lot of your like 90s and above have at least single straps.
Okay.
I'm running into newer houses with double straps.
Okay.
You know, you usually can't tell about the SWR because you can't see it when you do the inspection unless you have proof that the builder did it or the roofer did it. Right. You don't know if it's under there or not. And then finally is the hurricane protection, whether it's shutters or windows.
Gotcha.
Now, like you said before, the difference is very little. I have shutters, but my windows are awful, and you're doing my windows. Hurricane impact windows.
Let's go.
Yeah, so the difference was you're over almost $10,000 on the policy with crappy credits. Okay. And there is in between there. I quoted it got down to $3,000 with those credits.
Wow. So you've had credits that were, so you had a policy that would have been $9,000 and it was dropped to $3,000 because of
the credits I put in. I took out all the credits and made it just like an older house that hasn't had any updating.
Okay.
To I did a 1957
right
and a 1991 house.
Okay.
And I did the same thing to both.
Got it.
And it precipitously dropped the more credits that were added.
So interesting.
From the wind mitt.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm in love with this house in the Gables, and I'm going, this is just so cool. How much is insurance?
Yeah.
$9,000, and I'm like, yeah, because you have an older roof. You know, it's a lot of people have tile roofs that are 1993. They have like 30 years of life or whatever, but it's older than the 2002 building codes, so it's not FBC. And you have these old windows. You don't have hurricane windows, or the shutters in Miami, at least. Other parts of Florida, it's not. You could have different levels of hurricane protection on it. But in Miami, it's everything. All windows, all doors, skylight, everything has to be rated. Garage doors has to be rated.
That's a big one that I've seen a lot of people miss, where they don't want to do that. They do their whole home, they don't miss the garage, and I'm just like, we try to tell them, like, you're missing an opening. All openings must have protection or be impact rated or have impact protection. And garages, I'd probably say, are one of the most commonly missed openings.
They're not even that much.
The garage door is actually cheaper than a sliding glass door.
I know what I paid for mine, and I was surprised how low it was, because I'm like, I'm getting that hurricane credit. Yeah, I'm changing it out. Plus, I think it was from when the house was built in 91, and it went through Andrew.
So let's do some simple math real quick. I'm gonna just base this off of like very rough numbers.
Okay.
So let's just say that we have a 1,800 square foot house. That roof, I wanna say, we'll call it $24,000. So we have a 24, we'll call it 25 for easy math. So 1,800 square foot roof, $24,000, 1,800 square foot house, we'll call it a $25,000 roof. We'll call the impact windows $23,000. And then, I messed up this math, $23,000 for the impact windows. And let's just say they're upgrading to hurricane straps. And we'll go a little high. We're gonna go with $5,500 for the hurricane straps. That's a total. Brand new roof, brand new windows, hurricane straps. That's $53,500. For your example, where you were talking about the difference in the policy from $9,000 to $3,000, that would take that $6,000 savings. I messed that up.
Actually, it's $6,600.
$6,600. Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's 96, 98.
53,500.
Yeah. Divided by
6 years. I'm sorry, divided by 6,000. That's why. That's why it was 6,600.
6,600.
Divided by 6,600. So you're saving $6,600 a year. So in about 8 years, which doesn't, it's not a short amount of time, but brand new roof, brand new windows, hurricane straps. That's better aesthetics, better home value, better quality of life, more energy efficiency. You're also saving money on your electric bill, not accounting for any of that, not accounting for the home value. Just straight savings. It would take about 8 years to make all that money back. Wait, that's pretty cool.
Wow.
That's pretty cool. We should start advertising that. Hopefully the competition's not listening to this.